So the two Aprilias are out on track for the wet session. Kazuki Watanabe and Shugo Kawasaki. Nakarin and Zakon Zaidi are joining them out on track. It has reduced a little from the heavy rain that we saw earlier. Still drizzling, however, so it's not drying up.
Yeah, you can see the sun shining off the water there on track. So it's been a bit of a casual start to this second session of the day for the ASB 1000s. That is Nakarin Atirapuvapat, who had a quiet session until right at the end. The last sort of 10 minutes or so he improved a lot, ending up finishing fourth. But we saw a lot of action. We saw Kazuki Watanabe on the Aprilia showing well early in the session. Got pushed down a little bit, was still competitive, but he also said in wet conditions they could have an advantage.
Yeah, we know the Aprilia's chassis is designed for good handling, and in the wet conditions that's what you really want, to be able to consistently place the power down onto the tires and onto the tarmac. So it'll be quite a fascinating one to look at, how Kazuki does. And you can see the confidence as well. They were the first two riders to go out, Kazuki and Shugo.
Yeah, which you would expect, I guess. Local knowledge,
yeah.
How this track performs in the rain.
Yeah, this is going to be the
the
tricky part. Downhill on turn 12 in the wet.
This is the bet. This is where you'd bet that if anybody can do a good job of braking in the wet on that downhill section into turn 12, it's Kazuki. Does it nicely that time around.
You can see he's not rushing it. He's just slowly getting the feeling into these Dunlop rubbers. Across the line, it's going to be a 2:18 for Kazuki, 2:18.7. So that's the only benchmark right now. We don't know if that's a quick time in these conditions yet. But
yeah, probably not really, but that was a cautious opener, I think, for Kazuki.
He's just taking his time. Zakwan looks like he's starting to get on it already on his outlap. So Zakwan Zaidi going on the final sector now to eventually begin his flying lap.
Yeah, a lot of the more experienced riders here have got some really good form in the wet.
Yep.
Zakwan, of course, amongst them.
Yeah, I think Andy as well in the wet is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Joe Francis, another great wet rider for obvious reasons as well.
Yeah, anybody from Britain or Japan, yeah, it's going to be okay in the wet. And this has been quite English style rain.
Yeah.
Just that heavy downpour and then easing off into a drizzle.
That's it.
Yeah, but the skies are brightening, and this is an opportunity for the teams to get some good data in the wet. Because who knows what they are going to face tomorrow.
Yeah, looking towards turn 14, you see darker clouds. Looking towards turn 1, you see a bit of sunshine. So it could go either way right now.
Daniel, you can't help yourself, can you, talking about the weather?
I was talking about the sunshine, not the weather.
Oh, okay.
The conditions and the sunshine, I would say, are different things.
Right, okay. Never let it be said that Daniel has discussed the weather. So there is Zakwan.
Oh, you can see the speed that Kazuki had through sector 3. It's really strong, but Nakarin right now blitzing around each sector, so Nakarin immediately having a good feeling in the wet.
Yeah, it's one of the riders that established a reputation in the wet on the world stage.
Kazuki now 2:11, so that's all 7 seconds faster than that opening lap.
Oh, and there, straight to the top, 2:09.022. So that probably is a good benchmark to look at.
Indeed. So Nakarin getting straight into business. So Zaidi goes up with a 2:11.0, so he just tips Kazuki Watanabe. Shogo Kawasaki hasn't really put in a lap yet, so it's a bit strange. Shogo did go out at the same time as Kazuki. And Zakwan now. So we have a number of riders who have already exited from pit lane. Shota Ite is another one of them. So we'll be looking for a good lap from Shota. Did a brilliant job in practice 1 with the Yamaha R1M. With a Kino Speedoma racing bike.
Yeah, Nakarin didn't make it to the podium here last year.
I think it was in race 1 he got taken out by Yuki Kuni accidentally. And the Yamaha should be strong in these conditions. Saw how good Shota was in the dry, and maybe a slip up there for Shota, and he just went in a bit too hot into turn 1. Managed to keep it together.
Yeah, that was a brilliant first session from Shota. And Kota Arakawa moves himself up into P4. So 2 wildcards. Sorry, no, 1 wildcard in the top 5. Shogo is 6th.
Kazuki Watanabe, the fastest sector 3. So Kazuki Watanabe slowly churning away at it, but actually Nakarin has gone even faster through sector 3. So Nakarin improving massively on this lap. Kazuki goes provisional first for now, 208.0, but Nakarin's about to take that away.
Yep, there he goes, 206.8. Woohoo. Emphatically taking it away from him, 1.2 seconds. So the bar gets raised again, or lowered possibly if it's thinking about times. It's lower if you're limboing.
Yeah. Rocco's come around for his flying lap, 218, so he's slowly building that feeling in. Tough one for Rocco, his first time on 1000 cc category this season in Motegi, and second session itself in the wet. Whoa, Nakarin's going quicker now again.
Yeah, so he's got his iron. Got to Arakawa. This is a good lap from him too.
Yeah, it's a decent lap coming in from Shota Ite. It won't be moving Kazuki or Nakarin away, but Shota should be popping up at least into the top 4.
So that's Fahmi Abdul.
Yeah, Kota Arakawa has gone up into second. Nakarin with the 206.828. Nakarin improving still. And then at the Putra, who I've witnessed him being really strong in the wets in the Sepang. Slowly trying to find the lap times here.
Yeah, Adenauta came in to this category looking like he was going to put it together really quickly and then just leveled off a bit.
Yeah.
Now he's got wet conditions, so let's see. Is Rocco improving?
Oh, the rain's picked up. The rain's picked up a lot.
Yes, it has, yeah, it's visible again. It's okay, I think you got away with that one, Daniel.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, there's Rocco now.
Anyway, 205.348 is the benchmark.
And Nakarin's really on it. I mean, to find this feeling in the wet so quickly and consistently improving every lap, this is mega impressive from Nakarin.
Yeah, that's almost 2 seconds ahead of Zakwan, who's just nosed his way into P2. Kota Arakawa has just put in the fastest sector 1. So interesting, as the rain falls a little heavier, the times are still coming down. Perhaps there's a lagging effect there.
Yeah, generally when you have water moving around rather than just standing around on the tarmac, it does give you a bit more feel. So, but as of right now, it is a little bit heavy. So I think another 30 seconds or a minute is going to be a bit tough. Oh, contact there between Kazuki and Rocco. An apology there from Kazuki to Rocco.
Yeah, And Nakarin is on his way to another quick one.
Shota Ite, there we go. 207.3 by Shota on the Yamaha Kota Arakawa.
Yeah, that's a really good one from him, yeah.
Yeah, it was coming, wasn't it? Oh, this is the contact between Kazuki and Rocco. Kazuki trying to go around the outside. That's such a brave move, but you can see Kazuki immediately apologizing to Rocco.
Yeah. Confident, but a little overconfident, perhaps.
Laser focus from Rocco. He didn't even react. He didn't even look to his left.
Yeah, just in survival mode. There on the Swift Grow BMW is Lachlan Epis.
Shota Ite.
Ooh.
Oh, but Kota Arakawa as well. They're going even quicker than Nakarin through Sector 1. So it looks like the two Japanese wildcards are looking to... Well, they've definitely found their wet feeling on the Dunlops.
Yeah. And Lachlan. Where is he? No time yet.
Yeah, the Ducatis haven't come out at all in this session. That's what I find a bit surprising. Here's Kota Arakawa again, Sector 2, quickest Kota Arakawa. He's on course for a 2:04. This is going to be a big one for Kota. So good to see that Stemo bike in this field.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Love them to be back for a full season.
Yeah, legendary sponsor, legendary team.
Oh, Nakarin 4/10 quicker in Sector 1 alone. How's he done that?
So the riders that have really got their eye in, being Nakarin and Kota, unbelievable. So he's 4/10 quicker through Sector 1 than Kota.
That's unbelievable. Nakarin is on a different form. I mean, in the dry we saw that he's gradually found his feeling in Motegi, but right now in the wet, he's really looking confident. Shota.
Oh.
Kota.
Oh. Well, 204.184 is your ever decreasing benchmark.
Oh,
Putra.
I did not. This is brilliant.
Ah, poetry.
Yeah.
Poetry on track. And this is only free practice 2. Oh, stay with us this weekend. It's going to be amazing. Come rain or shine, literally.
Oh, look at Nakarin, the way he sends it into that final
so
sector.
confident.
I mean, to lean at that angle going through that section, that's not easy. Here comes Nakarin. This should be a 2:03. It is.
It is.
2:03.389 for Nakarin.
An emphatic 2:03. And a 0.8 advantage on the timing screen. Let's see who's got an answer for that. Brilliant stuff. And we're only halfway through this 35-minute session, so who knows where this is going to go. Back on slow-mo with Nakarin.
Look at his eyes there. Sniper's focus as he goes through the turn. See there how he's just adjusting onto the throttle, just feathering.
Yeah.
And as he
just
picks,
just a 1 or 2% on the throttle.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind these throttles are what, half a turn
Yeah.
from close to open. Yeah.
the fast throttles on super bikes these days are no joke. Oh, Andy looks like he has issues getting that bike started. Not the first time that we would have seen that. Looks like he is able to get that bike moving now.
Nakarin 31.9 through Sector 1.
Oh no, Andy's still with issues. He got the bike moving and then again an issue.
Oh, could that be a Ducati with electrical issues? What did I just say? Unfiltered on free practice day. But
Yeah,
Nakarin again. Sector 2, fastest.
Look at the spray coming out the rear of Nakarin's bike as he goes through the crest. Like, there's a lot of standing water there. He's improving through every sector still. It's brilliant from Nakarin.
Yeah, real quality there. And I have to wonder, Lachlan Epis, after your interview with him this morning, Daniel, and he was saying he was using a thumb brake for the first time.
Yep.
And that's got to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's a completely Well, yeah, you have to sort of wire your brain differently when you do that.
Exactly, yeah. Because you can easily put a lot of pressure down with your foot, right? But yeah, that's the thumb brake is going to take some getting used to, and now he's having to do it in the wet. That isn't going to help Nakarin's lap any.
Walker's got Hafiz now for company.
Yeah, I was just wondering what Hafiz and his teammate Andy Frid might be making of the competition out here on track, because it has been a really engaging competition, this. 203.3 for Nakarin, his advantage over Kota Arakawa and Shota Ite. Then Putra going well in these conditions.
So right now it looks like Nakarin's backed off from this, so I think he's found what he wants to find in these conditions. And yeah, I think the other issue is that the rain has stopped now, so you're gonna have just a lot of standing water, greasy conditions. And Kito Abe is one of the riders who hasn't done a single lap in these conditions yet.
Yeah, you have to think that the first half of this session, when it was really wet, the riders that got out then have got themselves a data advantage in terms of what's going to happen tomorrow in the race.
100%. I mean, it just almost made sense to try and collect that data just in case you need it.
Yeah, literally dive in.
Yeah. So Hafiz looks like he's a bit unhappy with how the bike was feeling, that he couldn't get it stopped at turn 1. And since then, he's just been coasting around, so I think Hafiz is going to come back in, maybe try to adjust the bike a little bit.
Yeah, I'd call that as a kind of strategic misstep, coming out this late, literally missing the rain.
Conditions here for the ASB 1000s. Yes, Hafiz. Looks like actually Hafiz is going to stay on, and I think he's going to do what he has done, which has worked for him, especially this season. Is just clock in more mileage, try to understand the bike and the conditions. This is where we saw Hafiz running wide on the braking. So he manages to keep this line this time around. It's still a bit wide, but not as drastic as earlier.
But not looking confident on the bike there. Oh yeah, Adenantis coming.
Fastest sector 2.
Yeah.
Sector 1 was is holding him back a little bit, but it should be a decent improvement from Adenantis still.
Yeah, I don't think Hafiz is looking that confident in his bike.
Doesn't look comfortable, does he?
No.
And you can see the difference between a confident Hafiz and versus the Hafiz that we're seeing now. When Hafiz is on it, nothing is holding him back, and he's just brilliant. But
yeah, or just in these wet conditions. Joe Francis has just moved up a place, but down on 214 there's a huge difference between, say, the top 7 and everybody else.
Bit of an error there for Shota. He's on attack mode right now. So Shota, I think with 9 minutes left, we can expect Shota to improve slightly, although the conditions are going to be a bit challenging. When the sun comes out like this on a very wet track, it is a very odd feeling on the bike. Lachlan has improved massively, 205.3.
Yeah.
Kazuki Watanabe as well, improving well. Azroy in 8th as well, improving.
Yeah, Azroy's been pretty solid in the middle of this pack throughout this session.
Well, when he fired, he would have wanted to get mileage in, but just couldn't get that bike started. Twice it died on him exiting pit lane. Hafiz now, 207.8. He moves up into 9th.
So a nice shot here. Kota and Kazuki coming down. Coming down the hill.
Looks like Shota has given up on this lap, so he'll be coming back in. As Kazuki Watanabe completes his lap. It should be a 2:04 coming in from Kazuki, I think. If my quick mental math is correct. Comes across the line now. Kazuki does it, 2:04.1.
Yep, he just pushes Lachlan down into 7th.
Okay, Kazuki keeping that Aprilia within less than a second and a half to the top. Great job by Kazuki and Tatara.
Yeah, Azroy moves up, 2:04.9. Moves up to 7th, above Lachlan and Hafiz. Makarin back out. Just be interesting to see how it goes in these conditions. I suspect that Shota thought, what am I going to learn? That was a good lap from Lachlan.
Yeah, 2:04.0. It's looking much more like it from Lachlan Epis after the struggle that we saw in practice 1. Yeah, Zakwan's ID, there we go, 2:03.7 from Zakwan. It's going to be tough for them to catch up to what Shota Ite just did.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, the conditions before the end of this session, when we've got 7 minutes remaining, the track conditions are going to change visibly in that short space of time. So it's going to be quite difficult in these conditions.
Personally, I always hate the conditions like this because the track just becomes so unpredictable. And while you can see riders getting the feeling in, they're not exactly coming into the lower 203s anymore. So Adinatakucha and Nakarin doing that, not to say effortlessly, but they're just really just slowly finding the pace in.
Yeah, just the track was consistently wet. Kazuki just moved up another place into P6.
It's great work from Kazuki Watanabe, just getting that mileage in. Ollie Simpson also getting used to Motegi now, in the wet this time. So 209.3.
Yeah, the track visibly drier there, you can see as we zoomed in on Makarin. As we were saying, these conditions are difficult. He's not listening to us, is he?
Yeah, I don't think Nakarin understands the term difficult. He's always on it no matter what.
Just go.
Yeah.
Be good for him to have a good weekend here, because it's a shame when you see a rider of such good form just lose his confidence a bit.
Oh, look at Lachlan Epis.
Oh, yeah.
203.5. Kota Arakawa as well improving.
Yeah, nice work from Lachlan.
Okay, not bad at all through sector 2 either. Overall, he's a 10th up now. You can see the mist coming up from the rain that's evaporating at turn 11. Or in the standing water.
Yeah, although the volume spray is visibly down.
Oh, Kota Arakawa in sector 2 is rapid. He's 4/10 up despite not setting the fastest sector 1. But for now, it's Nakarin first. Lost time in sector 3.
Okay, here comes the tie on the CBR 1000.
202.5.
Oh, he goes back to the top.
Oh, Shota Ite is looking like P1 for him this entire time, but looks like he's about to get relegated into 3rd perhaps as well, because Kota Arakawa is coming through. Kota Arakawa, we lost time in sector 3 however, so Kota Arakawa stays in 6th.
But it's tightened up now. 203s all the way down to P6.
Look at this group here. It's Kito Abe there in that group of 4.
Azroy up into 5th, 203.5. So, without making a big song and dance about it, Azroy having a really good session.
Indeed. Speaking of good sessions, Nakari, he's up again in sector 1. 2/10 faster in sector 1 this time round. Joe Francis finally finding the pace as well here. He's done a 207. Shogo Kawasaki at 206 now. He goes up into 10th.
Fizz improving, although he's not going to threaten the top.
Okay, in the sector 2 decent. Gonzaga back out. Azura improving again in sector 1. Ooh, someone's gone down.
That's down. Can't see who that is with the rain jacket on.
I think that might be Kazuki Watanabe or Shugo Kawasaki. It looks like an Aprilia's tail. Shugo Kawasaki did just come around to complete his lap. That might be Kazuki Watanabe. He was pushing. Look at sector 2 from Kazuki.
Yeah, and look at on screen. Look at Nakarin on it again.
Oh, Kazuki, yes, it was Shugo that crashed. It wasn't Kazuki.
Another lap completes for Nakarin.
Oh,
201. 201.979 that time around.
Brilliant from
So
Nakarin.
that is a second up on Shota Ite. That is some wet weather form from Nakarin.
Oh, Kazuki Watanabe with the 203.4. Tazuki goes up into P4 now.
As we look deep into the eyes of Nakarin, who only knows gas.
Azura and Kazuki both lapping at 203.47. Azura up into P4 for now. Lee Simpson finding improvements, 206.9 for him. Rocco 206.8. Shugo Kawasaki 206.6. Joe Francis now 206.4 up into 10th.
Yeah, surprised to see Zakwan down in 8th. He's put in a lot of laps and he has been a lot further up. Definitely some home advantage being shown by Shota, by Kazuki, Kota Arakawa as well.
Shota Ite trying to find improvements now, so he's back out. Sector 1 was decent, Sector 2 was an improvement. Kota Arakawa is going really quick though. Improving through Sector 1. Fastest Sector 2 again from Kota Arakawa. As of right now, it seems that he's half a second up through Sector 1 and Sector 2. So look out for the rudder on that stem with CBR, Kota Arakawa. Pulling him now into the downhill section at turn 12.
Yeah, looking really confident on the brakes there, Kota Arakawa.
Sector 3 is decent, but it's quicker than what Nakarin has done so far. Shota Ite a little bit further in front of him. Kota Arakawa looks confident on that bike. Comes across the line, it's not going to be quicker, it's a 202.1, so he goes second.
Yeah.
Kazuki Watanabe up into third, into the 202s. Oh, Kota Arakawa's lap just moved down. And I'm wondering why.
Yeah, nothing on the ticker at the bottom. So, yeah, I don't know. Gone wide somewhere?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the... Perhaps it got deleted when Shogo was in the gravel because he overtook someone, perhaps. It's speculation, we have no confirmation on this. Just confused as to why his lap time got deleted. So did Kito Abe's. Kito just set a 206.1 and then now he's dropped back down to 14th.
Okay.
Well, oh, look at Shota Ite now though. Sector 1, he is quick. Sector 2, he's the quickest. So Shota Ite might give us the first Yamaha in P1 for a session for a very long time still. Let's follow Shota Ite and the Ikemo Speed Uma Racing Yamaha as he goes around turn 11 into the downhill section. You can see again all the water from the track evaporating, just giving a little bit of a mist on the surface. Oh, Sector 3 is lacking a bit. You can see in comparison to Nakari in Sector 2, he's about a tenth and a half quicker. Sector 3, he's 2/10 down, so Sector 4 has to be amazing, but oh, he's lost his footing there on the flip. Can get slippery on the pegs. Comes across the line now, Shota Ite. If anything, he's given us a brilliant show, and
he certainly has, yeah. The Shota show has been an absolutely thrilling one. 202.265. Oh, he just gets bumped down by Kota Arakawa into the 201s, joining Nakarin in that rather exclusive club there at the top.
You just see the Shota, where Shota Ite lost his footing. But as you were saying, Kota Arakawa, brilliant. The two wildcards have just been brilliant so far after 2 sessions. Ollie Simpson as well, getting to grips quickly with the Motegi layout, especially in the wet.
Yeah.
He's up into 10th with a 205.
Yeah, that 205 is good. It's second quicker than Joe Francis. Wow, okay. So, what a sensational session that was. Nakarina Tirapuvapat for the regular riders just held on. 201.773, the quickest time. What a session. Kota Arakawa, 201.973. He was the second quickest for Astemo Pro Honda. Shota Ite for Akino Speed Uma Racing. He was third quickest. Then Kazuki Watanabe for Team Tatara Aprilia. Brilliant session. Adananta also showing really well. 203.4 for the Indonesian. Then it was Azroy. Solid session. 203.4 for Azroy. Lachlan Epis got better and better in that session. 203.525. And then Zakwan in 8th. Zakwan Saidi for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia. Fisherin only did half a session. 204.3 was his best time. And then it was Ollie Simpson, still improving, come rain or shine. Rain this time. 205 was his best time. Second quicker than Joe Francis, who was 11th. Then Shogo Kawasaki, Team Tatara Aprilia. Rocco Sessler, 206.9 for the young German. Kito Abe, quiet one for him. And 15th quickest on a 217 was Fahmi Abdul Wahab for 40 Forged BMW. Andy Farid, unfortunately, no time for him when he wasn't able to get that Ducati out of pit lane. So, lots of spectacular action you're about to see on slow-mo while we wait for the next session, which will be the Underbone 150s for the second time today. Practice 2, and as we were saying, practice 1 was important in case it rained. They are going to be out on a wet and drying track, so it's going to be a tricky one for the Underbone riders. But stay with us and we'll be back with you in about 5 minutes from now.
Guard technology distills the wisdom of oil experts. 5 protective benefits in harmony unleash the peak performance of your engine. Nano Silky Tech ensures extra smooth upshifting at high RPM. Rocket starts, silky shifts. Demitsu IRG5.
Welcome back to a drying Motegi circuit here in the mountains of Tochigi Prefecture. We're about 2 hours north of Tokyo. And for the second time today, out onto track come the Underbone 150s. They came out in dry conditions this morning, so keeping in mind that combined times are what the tomorrow's qualifying 1 and 2 sessions are determined by, then the high likelihood is that the times recorded this morning will be the ones that really matter. So they're coming out onto a drying track in dry conditions this morning. Championship leader and defending champion Husni Zainal Fauzi had a 1.5 second advantage over Dimas Juliet Moko, and Dimas was just ahead of Aditya Fauzi, who had a really good session on the Honda. Best Honda once again for the Indonesian Aditya Fauzi. There is Husni Zainal Fauzi. What difference will the damp conditions mean for him? So Daniel, keeping in mind that tomorrow's qualifying will be determined probably by what happened in first free practice this morning, and that these are drying, changeable conditions. Why are these riders bothering to go out?
Well, as we were mentioning, the ASB and the as you were mentioning as well in the Super Sports class, I'm sure it's all about finding that setup just in case tomorrow we have similar conditions. So it's always important to have that extra bit of data. So I think, despite the tricky conditions, it will be something that they can take forward. Of course, it's not properly wet. I mean, the track is still wet, but it's coming to the point where it's just going to be damp. So you don't get the maximum wet data that you can get, but maybe in the minds of the teams and the riders, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and it's track time, of course. This must be the only time of the year anywhere in Japan that underbones take to racetracks. So that's valuable and good for us to see.
I think it's going to be a spectacle for the Japanese fans as well, as we saw some of them in the stands earlier.
Yeah, everybody loves underbones. Close racing, identifiable racing, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
Let's go to Krishna, number 73, just at the front of that little clutch of 5 or 6 bikes. And 78, Timothy Rojas. So still going 3 abreast, even in the dodgy conditions.
I think that's the best way to describe these kind of damp, drying conditions.
Exactly, yeah. So we were looking at what, 2.6, what's the best time? 2:16.7, I think, this morning for Husni. Yeah, 2:16.7.
And it was 2:15 from Husni 2025. So that's the best case scenario in the dry. 2:16 is what we got in practice 1, as you mentioned. So in the wet, I think realistically, if we just go off what we saw in Super Sport 600s and 1000s, more or less about 6 to 8 seconds slower a lap.
That sounds about right. Bearing in mind the cutoff for Q2 is 12. The 12th quickest time was 2:19.9. So just things to keep in mind as we watch this session unfold in drying conditions. The sun's gone in a little bit, but I don't think rain's threatening. But we do have Adib Arsha and Nazarul, who ran very well together this morning for Uma Racing. number 1 and 2. It's Charles Chazras, who was quite down the order in dry conditions this morning, 15th. Number 129 there is Rendy, who's just lifted himself up to 6th. He was quite a long way down as well. This will be his first visit, but oh my goodness, couldn't you just predict it? That as they really get their first serious flying laps in, it is, what's that guy's name? Husni Zainal Fauzi. Puts in a 2:23.3, which is almost exactly 3 seconds faster than Aditya Fauzi, who's the next best.
3 seconds in an underbone category is unbelievable. And to do it immediately in the wet conditions as well.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so we are talking about something really special here.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen strong underbone riders, masters of this category, but what Husni is doing for the past 8 rounds that we've seen him since 2025 is nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, remarkable is quite a gentle word. I've got the word ridiculous in my head, but that often has a negative connotation. I mean, far from that, as you know. But there he is, the 143. Who has an answer for him? Well, Aditya's doing his best. He's just gone through sector 2 a bit quicker.
You know, as much as we love watching Husni in the underbone category and as dominant as he is, I would love to see him make that step up to the 250s next year.
Yeah,
I think
for sure. I mean, he's quite a tall rider, isn't he? He's not one of the small kind of classic jockey-built kind of underbone riders. Not at all. He's quite a big lad. Yeah,
I think with his technical ability on a 250, I think he's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, and now the AP 250 racing is almost as close as underbone racing, then that again would all go very well for the Indonesian champion and defending champion. Just at the front of that group is Fazrul Sham.
222.4 this time round. Aditya Fauzi, however, he's gone with a 223.4, so just slightly less than a second between Aditya and Husni.
Yeah, Dimas up there again. Dimas showing the consistency that we hoped he would convert after, I think this is his 3rd season as a regular rider. Always fast right from the outset.
Yeah.
But really a good racer now.
Yeah, it was that breakthrough victory in Mandalika that really started changing him around, and I think, again, it's just that sometimes some riders, once they break into the podiums or the victories, you can see their performances just completely change. That self-belief becomes very much real, and the talent becomes undeniable.
Yeah, it is. And there is Dimas just going underneath Gupita. Oh, sorry, that's Aditya Fauzi just gone past him. Yeah, Gupita easing right off. He'll let a few more riders go past, I think. 129 is Rendi Oding. 95 is April King, running a new number for this season. Just looking for the Vosges, the AS25 Vosges, Muzakir, who was 9th quickest this morning, currently 13th.
Yeah, the great thing for them is, as the session is going along, we can see that it's not going to dry up enough in time for proper fast laps. So as it stands, the Vosges machine and Muzakir are through to Super Bowl.
I think Husni just, he did, signalled he was going to come in. All 3 of them. come trundling in. Let's see if they wait and change tyres.
Nah, I think it's far too wet to go out on slick still. It's no clear dry line.
Yeah, it's a good shot of it there. If you look at Radib and Nazrul. Working well together this weekend, aren't they, so far?
Yeah, we didn't see this in the first couple of rounds, nor did we see it last season, but I think they've managed a strategy this time finally. And if they continue this pattern for the remaining rounds, this will be very good for them. 'Cause especially with Adib picking up his pace and finding his rhythm, Nazrul finally has a teammate that he can dice with, so it'll be very beneficial for them.
That's right, the bike just behind those two is Muzakia on the AS25 Vogue. 222.4 is Hasni's time. Then we've got Charles Shazras in the 224s, and then it's another drop of almost 2 seconds to Fadli Regani. So about the only thing you can read from this is that Hasni is going to be difficult to beat. But Aditya and Dimas actually also really strong. Nazrul 11th.
Nazrul just checking to make sure that Adib is still with him and that no one else is trying to get a toe from them.
Yeah, riders in the pits there. Got 10 minutes remaining to the checkered flag, so lots of time to come out for another run. See the Cardinals machine of Fajrul Sham in there. Fajrul not really threatening the scorers at the moment, down in 14th with 230.9.
This is a very, very interesting situation now, because in the first half of the track, it's still damp across the entirety of the track. Going through turns 8, 9 and 10 there, it looks like there is at least about 40%, 30 to 40% already starting to dry up. But then you come back into turn 10 right over here, and it's still damp across. So yeah, tricky, unless it's magically in the next 5 minutes a dry line appears. There could be a shot at slicks.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at that little run, that was a properly wet track.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, this portion here. But then once they go down into turn 12, you can see that it dries up. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
And down the hill they go. It's good formation riding by Nazrul and Adib.
Right there at the apex of turn 12, you can see there's a dry line forming just because it's running down, but in the other half of the track, you're just going to be struggling for grip if you go in slicks. The problem is the wet tires are just going to start melting across those dry bits. So I don't suppose many riders are going to stay out on track for the next few minutes. They'll know that it's not really helping them at all, data-wise.
Tawizi just moved up into 5th, 226. Nobody looking like they're going to lay a glove on Hasni.
Yeah, for those who still have some tires left in them, they could try and go in attack mode on those wets and find slightly faster times now, but again, you're just going to use up a wet tire really quickly for no real benefits. For those who've never ridden on or I've never felt how these Dunlop wets are. They're marshmallow soft. So when you get dry track and heat coming up, it's really sketchy on the bike.
Yeah, exactly. Hence the wet tyres.
Yeah.
But they're wet only.
Yeah. Yeah, so 6 minutes. You could see in one of the camera shots earlier, there are some bikes still waiting to see whether they can go out on slicks. Again, that first half in turn 12 and 13, yeah, there's a dry line, but once you go into here at turn 5 and 6, it's still pretty much damp.
Yeah, Muzakir caught up to this group now. Oh, the number 92 just at the back there. Behind Adib. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any change, and we're certainly not going to see anybody challenge the times from practice 1 so far as qualifying is concerned. Dry patches in pit lane and on the front straight.
Yeah, if this session had another 10 minutes in it, I think definitely we would see some riders still go out on slicks, but 5 minutes and a bit left. Still not 100% dry line anywhere.
Yeah,
just seems a bit too risky.
Yeah, I think these riders, don't think there's anybody else out on track.
Yeah, I think that was the last 4.
Yeah, so it looks like job done. If anybody changes their mind, they've still got 5 minutes. But you can see there it's sunny. It's also windy, so
It is, yeah.
Yeah, all of that helping.
So I'd say give it. I think another 15 minutes or so. It'll be starting to get a dry line that's good enough for slicks for the 250s. I don't think we'll see many coming out immediately. For the underbones, for that matter, there are some riders waiting to see whether they go, but yeah, it's just about 4 minutes and a half left.
Yeah, well, they had a good go at it in the dry this morning. Got some wet experience now. I wouldn't go out.
Yeah. I think it's just too much risk with too little reward.
Exactly. So we know that Husney scored a win double here last year. We know that he's scored a dry practice session win, if I can call it that, and a wet practice session win. But I do think Aditya and Dimas look like the most solid of the competition, based on what we've seen so far and based on what we've seen this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They're also 2 and 3 in the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think Aditya, even though he made that switch to Hondas last year, has been brilliant from the get-go. He's one of those riders. I think you can put him on any bike and he'll find a decent result. So second year into the project with Racetech managing those bikes for JP&W as well. He's looking better and better every time. Dimas, of course, since we've seen his introduction with Racetech, has been absolutely brilliant. We do have a rider going on. That's one of the... I think that might be John that's gone out. That's Wayaji coming out. A bunch of riders. So maybe just for a practice start, perhaps.
Yeah, might not be a bad idea. So it's Fadley at the front there, number 78. Yeah. Practice start. Muzakir as well.
They are out a bit early if it is just for a practice start. For the likes of Fadley, he would be... sorry, for the likes of Timothy, he will be out just in time for 2 laps, actually. And you can see the rest. They're just checking the timing right now. The amount of time left on the gantry, so...
Yeah, Yeah, here they all come. '77 is Adichie, 143. It's the unmistakable Hasni.
Yeah, so drying conditions right at the end of Underbow 150 practice 2. Cloud cover has joined again in Motegi, so we don't have as much of a strong sun that we saw just about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, I wasn't watching the clock, but I don't think any of these are going to get a flying lap in, are they?
No.
They're just going to come round, go round, do a practice start.
The only one that made it out in time for I think, a proper flying lap was Timothy, but the rest all just slowly cruised their way through the exit of pit lane.
Yeah, everybody out there. Good shot there of the magnificent, verdant, billowing green forests just above where we are.
Oh, Shazras.
Oh,
I think he's gone off. He's right in front of our cameraman as well.
yeah.
what a place for him to have an error.
Yeah, often we struggle to see who's come off, but that was the easiest ever.
So this is what happened to Shazras just at the tunnel there. So yeah, it looks like a technical issue for Shazras.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, it looks like the bike died. It looks like he's trying to get it started, but yeah, unfortunate electrical fault for Shazras. He's going to look straight at the camera. What an opportunity. Yeah, you can see all the riders, they slowed down at this portion just to make sure that when they come across this checker flag out. So it's just going to be a practice start for them. And you can see again, it just wouldn't have made sense to go for a push lap. Still not a proper dry line. And a lot of them still on the wet tires.
So riders that are going to miss out for qualifying 2 include Kubica. He was 13th quickest. April King, Silmi Helsinki, Kiki, Suderman, Rendy, Akshal, John Emerson. He had a crash in first session.
Yeah. I think he's riding in a bit of pain as well because he's down in 22nd, 14 seconds off in this session. So did look like he got winded in that crash.
So that's done and dusted. So you already know, without doing any tricky calculations, who's going to be in qualifying 2 tomorrow, and who therefore by omission is going to be in qualifying 1.
Looks like the wind's picking up as well around Motegi.
Yeah, it's going to help dry things up, but also maybe make things a little trickier for the AP250s. Here we are, Hasni Zainal Fauzi at the top. 222.426 for the reigning and defending champion. Reigning, defending and championship leading, I should say, for Zia LFN. And then Adichie Fauzi, another really good session from him for JPNW SND Factory Racing. HGS Youngstar, Kawahara Racetech 60s, Dimas Julie, another good session for him. And then it was Charles Shazras, who we saw break down there at the end, but he was 4th quickest. 5th was his teammate, Dawish. And then it was Fadli Regani for Yamaha LFN 969. Team 1 for Alls, Silmi Helsinki and Akshal Ilham Safatullah were 7th and 8th. 9th was Kiki Suderman, Adichie's teammate. Then it was April King Moscato, 10th, 11th, Timothy Rojas, and then Mazakia was 12th, having been 9th in this morning's practice for the AS25 Vosges, and then Nazrul Izzat, Gupita Krishna, Rendi Oding was 15th for 4S1M Evo Yamaha. we wait for the page to roll. And then it was Fazrul Sham. Quiet day for the Malaysian veteran on the Aeon Credit JQK Zinnages Cardinals Yamaha. Then it was Adib Arshad for Uma Racing Yamaha. Waiwaji Trilaksana down in 18th. Fizi Supat on the second Vosges AS25. And Shirat Sauki for Yamaha LFN 969. 20th, 21st, Shafiq Rasol, John Emerson in Gito. Not a good session, obviously, for him. 2:36.9 was his best time. And it is a 22 rider field, so that completes it. We'll have another look at some of the slow motion action for that. And when we come back on this drying Motegi circuit, it will be with the AP250s. So we will see you in about 10 minutes from now.
Idemitsu IFG7. Flagship engine oil nano-tailored for high-precision engines. Enhanced performance in 7 ways with super protective septic guard technology, the accumulated wisdom of oil experts. Anti-power loss nanotech keeps your engine performing at its peak for extended periods in harsh conditions. Beat the heat. Idemitsu IFG7.
For the third and final time today, we have the AP250s on track here at Mobility Resort Motegi for round 3 of the FIM Asia Road Racing Championship. And this is the biggest of the grids that we have in the Asia Road Racing Championship. 32 entries this weekend, 30 regular. And we've got a couple of wild cards and replacement riders. One of them just went down through the bottom of your screen then, being Hiroki Ono, who we briefly thought had set the fastest time of the day at the end of practice 2, but had that lap cancelled. So Hiroki Ono, who will be hoping for great things this weekend. He is in as a replacement rider for Viet Tuan on the Honda Racing Vietnam team, where he started the season as team coach. But unfortunately, Viet Tuan, who ironically broke his leg, I think, here in Japan, is still out injured. So the master of Motegi, certainly so far as riding light motorcycles is concerned, gets another run out on the CBR 250. But this is a really competitive category, Daniel, and I think even Hiroki Ono is going to have to work hard for a win here.
Yeah, we saw in Buriram, of course, race 1 didn't seem too much of a challenge for him, but in race 2 we saw that it wasn't as easy as he might have thought to battle his way through the field. Of course, Kritapad pulling the gap, and Panjaruk as well, finding the space. So in Motegi, on paper it seems that Hiroki should be able to put in a strong fight for the win, but as we've seen in practice, it's not being straightforward. He does still seem confident though.
Yeah, he does. You'd never bet against him, pulling off a double. That's a FIFAN Ram. Very familiar number there, the number 50, but he's on a 250 this weekend, which is good to see. In as a wild card for Aeon Credit JQK Zinage's Cardinals team. So in for a good team. 44 going through on your screen there is Reach Takahira, who was quickest in the second session of the day. And the glitter arterial there, number 39, championship leader Kritapat goes through, 1, 2, 3. Reza Danica, currently second in the championship, goes through. So lots of quality in this field. And I've heard it said by some people who know that they regard this AP250 championship as a lot more competitive and better quality than, dare I say it, a very well-known World Championship class with similar engine capacity. On the right there is Daniel Shami. 88 is Chandra, who was quickest in session 1. 571 Monsieur V also going well here. 75 with the pink knee sliders is Lu Yin, or Yulin. I've got it the wrong way around. Yeah.
I was just observing the body language from a lot of the riders, and you can see the experienced riders, they're looking around and they know that the majority of them are on wet tires, but there's so much dry track around, it might just be worth it, just come back in and swap onto the slicks.
Yeah,
wait 10 minutes and go out.
Yeah, that's right. The 250s missed the rain earlier. They're the only category that did, actually.
Yep.
It came in early in the 600 session.
Yeah, you can see the line there through turn 1 around that racing line is dry. There's the other parts of the track where there's certain corners that it's still damp across the racing line, but it's about 50-50 right now. So I think we're going to see some riders coming in very shortly. Kritapad is getting busy straight away.
Yeah, Panjaruk just going through there for Honda Racing Thailand, the number 12. He's had a bit of a quiet one. Kritapad, number 39, championship leader, second in the championship to Fadila Arbi last year. 3 wins and 1 P5 so far this season. So given him I think it's a 22-point lead in the championship without checking. But because he's run away so strongly, he's had 2 rev cuts now of 200 RPM each, so he's running with a 400 rev cut. So that's a challenge for him and for the technical team to map that out, to make it work around here on this fast circuit. He had a P4 and a P1 last year, and he told me a few days ago that in race 1, one of his clip-ons came loose on the last lap, which is why he finished down in P4. So he likes Motegi. I think he said it was I'm trying to recall the conversation. I think he said it was his right clip-on.
Right. Yeah, it's not fun when a clip-on starts coming loose. You start feeling a bit less confident about trying to push on.
Just a bit, yeah. 16 just behind Kritapat is Irfan Ardyansha, who was going well this morning as well.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Kritapat is still trying to push on this hard. I can see majority of the racing lines are dry. A bunch of riders have already started coming back in. Kawasaki's are just coming out now for Antares.
Yeah, that Akino Speed yellow Yamaha there belongs to wildcard Rintaro Takamoto. But yeah, as you say, Daniel, pushing on there is Kritapat.
Kritapat going quick because he's pushing. He's probably pushing it now. That wet tire is going to start moving around very quickly.
Yeah, clearly see the dry line there on that shot. Yeah, but he's all in.
Yeah,
you can see in the body language, you can see it in the eyes as well, thanks to the clear visor. That could be changed as well, because it's looking pretty bright.
It is, yeah.
Bassam, 2-2, looks around, sees his ultimate nemesis in this category, Kritapat, as the championship leader. Yeah, when a rider's on that kind of form, in this kind of mode, you wouldn't want to get in his way, and Fahmi Julie made room for him. Ryuji Yoko, who qualified second here last season as wildcard, second quickest right now. 2:14.89 is the best time there of Kritapat. There he is, the number 62. Panjaruk having a better session, 2:17.846. Putting that in context, that's about, yeah, they're running 8 to 10 seconds slower than they were this morning. 7 seconds in the case of Kritapat. Okay, there goes Fahmi, 2:22.62 is Yoko. Team 1 for All's Pirapong Lui Bumpeng, the only Thai rider in this class. Also been going pretty well, pretty steady all the way through. He's just bumped Panjaruk Chitrul-Chat, the Honda Racing Thailand rider, down from 3rd to 4th. Hu Tri, the number 18, is in 5th. So difficult to pick the bones out of this, other than yeah, it's a really mixed bag. Takahiro down in 7th. Giselle Jarami taking advantage of the conditions to show his quality. He's currently 8th quickest. I'm not sure, but it looks like Ryuji Yoko might be on a dry tire. It looks like
It looked like a slick tire. And I was just, because in my mind I was just wondering when we're going to see some riders on slicks, because it is starting to get dry enough to try.
Yeah, Pierrepont, you can see, is still on wets. I think.
It looks like slicks as well,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, maybe. But Yoko is on top now. A couple of tenths clear of Kridapat last time around, and both of them going fast through sector 1. That's Pierrepont, team 1 for all, number 24. Hunter Corney, the Australian wildcard, a brilliant young Australian rider who's come in for MotoGo Food Sport Yamaha. He's improving up to 11th. First time to Mugello for the, I believe I'm right in saying he's 16-year-old Hunter Corney.
Yeah, Hunter Corney making his first round to Motegi.
And Utri for UZ Asia team. Vietnamese rider's just moved himself up into P3. Kridapat reasserts himself at the top. That's a 2:11.9. So the times are tumbling. That is Kridapat, number 39. Check his tyres out. Yeah, I think he's on slicks as well. Hunter Corney is the number 74, just been passed by Kridapat. Be a good idea for him to tag along if he can.
Yeah, it'll be good for him to see what the championship leader's doing on similar machinery.
His pace is another level, though, I think, Kridapat. Look.
Just kept it. I mean, for Hunter Corney, he's still getting used to Motegi. First time as well with Patrick Lee's team, so he's trying to understand how to communicate with his mechanics to get the maximum out of the bike. So it's almost everything new for Hunter Corney this weekend. Justin Juraimi has gone up into 5th. I think right now there are some riders who have already put on the slicks. Seeing a lot of names mix up at the top.
Yeah, Utri could possibly be one of those. But the track in most parts looking dry. You can see the gap that Kridapat's opened up over Hunter Corney since he passed him. Really looking confident. There's the 21-year-old Thai rider from just north of Bangkok, or northern suburbs of Bangkok. Been in World Championships as well, including the Blue Crew World Cup, where he finished 5th over the season, just to, again, to reinforce his quality.
Yeah, that's Fami's tire. Hard to note whether that was a slick or a wet.
Yeah, he's just jumped up to the top, hasn't he? So, be good to see. Just looks like there's a groove in the middle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to pick out right now.
Carlson Jacob up into 7th, so...
Oh! Yeah, that might still be wet tires. Seeing how the front was catching up like that.
Yeah, a melting wet tyre. Fascinating stuff here. There is Hiroki Ono, number 76, ahead of Aiki Yoshi. And Hunter Corney, again finding himself in illustrious company. Krittipat is ahead of them. Okay, Hiroki Ono sets his sights on the Yamaha ahead. But Fami's going quicker through Sector 1, Sector 2, quickest times of the session. Galan goes through. Galan currently 14th, quickest, 2:18.2. So a long way off the pace of this rider at least, who's coming in to stop.
Yeah, I think it's going to be session done for Krittipat. He's running on those wets for a long time. With 8 minutes left, it's going to be a big ask to get the dry tires on and change the setup as well.
That's right. Yeah, Yoko gets out of the way of Fami.
Yeah, it looks like there's grooves, but
it's difficult, isn't it? From some angles, you think it's a slick. From other angles, maybe not.
There's Yuji Yoko right behind Fami, Yuji's currently found himself into third.
Just caught a glimpse there. There he is of Rish Takahira. Reach a little way down.
Yeah, it's not the reach that we saw in practice 1.
Certainly not. He's down in 19th at the moment. 8 seconds adrift.
Another rider that's surprisingly struggling is Afif Amran. We know that Cardinal's bike is still in development, but with Afif's quality, you did expect him to be a bit higher up. Taro Takemoto comes around turn 12 behind Aiki Yoshi, behind Carlson Jacob.
Yeah, I do love the look of those Akino Speed yellow and blue bikes. They're so distinctive. They just look like trouble, don't they? So aggressive.
Gary Salim goes up into 4th with a 2:12.305 on the silver bullet. Demisgolo for men there, looking for a strong result here.
Yeah. Yoko and Fami swapping sector times, quickest sector times on this lap. 6 minutes remaining, so quite a bit of time left. Fadil improving. Aldiaz Axel jumps up to 8th. Takamoto on track ahead of Carlson. Very different lines being taken there. Carlson, the Filipino, going out wide, hoping to get a drive out of the final turn. I think Rintaro Takamoto has been here a few more times.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. 5 minutes remaining.
Who's that trundling around at the back? Can't quite see.
Also potentially a technical issue there. Carlson now getting some valuable experience behind a rider who has a lot of experience in Motegi, Rintaro. Someone's gone up there just as they came across, so not sure who that was.
Okay, 88 is Chandra, 571 is Fadil Mashavi, both for Yamaha Indonesia. Chandra quickest in session 1 this morning. Now it's Fami first.
It's another slow session from Dennis Shami. Strangely enough, yeah, we understand that these conditions are a bit trickier, but again, Dennis Shami's quality, we know how good he is.
Yeah, he's a really talented rider.
It's just bizarre. Whether if it's a confidence factor or they've done something to the bike that's just not running well with him, it's strange.
Yeah, he's moved up into 8th, but on 211.4. That's just not where you'd expect him to be, given his quality. But away from home, these Indonesian Yamahas doing really well.
Yeah, I think Fadil and Chandra, they started to finally break that podium deadlock, and they've been looking strong ever since. Slowly shaping up to the riders that we expect from them. The results are coming. I think right now it's just a matter of them finding that consistency and building it together.
Okay, they complete another lap. And so does one of the Kawasaki's, I can hear in the background. Four-cylinder scream, yeah.
That's a beautiful noise, especially when they're running down the front straight here. That inline 4 on the 250 machine is just, it's a sound that is just like no other bike on earth.
Yeah, I'm glad we got them in this championship.
Yep.
I went to a local race a couple of years ago in Sugo, and there were quite a few. Sounded great.
Yeah, I imagine. Ryuji Yoko, that lap at 209.170, fastest sector 2, improvements throughout all sectors. So Ryuji Yoko, given whatever conditions, mixed or dry, I think we can expect good things from him.
Sure, yeah, especially at qualifying last year. What he's going to want is a good race.
Yeah.
He didn't get it.
As of right now, 2 minutes and a bit left. Fadil Mushavi sets the fastest second sector, even about a tenth faster than Ryuji Yoko. Fast sector 1 as well, so you know what, this might be Fadil jumping up to the top of the list.
Well, Erfan Heikel has just jumped up into P3. But Fadil is going to reassert himself, I think, on this lap, provided he keeps it all together. Does look like he is. He's just got to get a good final sector in. Fahmi pushing. It's not going to improve, but I think this is another good lap for the Indonesian class rookie. Wasn't that good actually, 212. Oh, FIM Mushavi, yeah, he goes to the top. That was a big jump. 208.74, there's Rish Takahira. Is he going to show up late in this session? Reach is currently 13th, there he is. One of those riders, as we often say, something always happens when he's on track. Just an exciting rider to have in this championship. He moves up into P5, 209.5 for him. Kridapat now down to 6th. There again is Daniel Shami, number 57. Anjaruk goes through. 57 is Daniel Shami, 21 just behind him is Erfan Heikel. Chandra is putting in a quick, not good, such a good sector 2. It could be another good lap for Chandra Hermawan.
Daniel Shami looking for improvements on this lap, and it looks like it's going to be a decent one from him. So he might jump up a couple of places. But again, a very quiet session. Another one from Daniel Shami.
Yeah, Rish Takahira improving, Kridapat improving. And the track dry now, it's fair to say.
Yeah, there's just the slightest of damp patches here and there. I'm just surprised not more riders were taking the risk with the slicks immediately. Usually you see that in these kind of conditions.
As you can imagine, a scenario in the race as the checkered flag comes out to end this final session of the day for the 250s.
Oh
yeah. Nice, come up to 6th. Championship leader down to 9th. Rikiyoshi's 7th. Yeah, times here are kind of all over the place. You could look at the first 2 sessions and think, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, Panjaric has just dropped down to 14th.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would only be because of inexperience in these conditions. I mean, we've seen how good he can be. The talent is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is bizarre is Hiroki Ono being in 9th. I think that's a sentence I've never said.
No.
Yeah.
No. Unless it might be in the same sentence if it's something like his 9th win of the season.
Yeah.
Not P9, you're right. Okay, so there's the practice start point. Clutch flicking going on there.
Yeah.
Okay, breakdown wagon coming out, so somebody's out there. Yeah, so as we can see, bright and sunny there. Got a nice backdrop for the practice 3 results. Fadil Musyavi for Yamaha Racing Indonesia, 208.739. And 2/10-ish down was Fahmi Bassam for Yamaha LFN HP 969, his teammate. And then Ryoji Yoko, Team Tech 2, Sanwa Racing Team. Kridapat ended up 4th, he had a good final time around. Rishi Takahira 5th for Tianyu Asia Racing MFZ. And then Chandra Hermawan, Unai Kalatayud for Pro Power Antares MT Kawasaki. And then Aiki Yoshi was 8th quickest, 209.585 for the Japanese newcomer to Hondas. Not a newcomer to Hondas is Hiroki Ono. He was the newcomer perhaps to P9, 209.823, and then it was Irfan Haikal, Pirapong Lui Bunpeng, Team 1 for All, Kino Speeds, Rintaro Takamoto, 209.9 for him, Daniel Sharmi down in 13th, Panjaric Chitwal Chat in 14th, and Galang Hendra in 15th. Some big names down at the lower end of the top 15. But we're only halfway through. 16th was number 16, Irfan Ardianshah, Nguyen Hu Tri for UZ Asia. 17th, 18th, Gary Salim for MS Glovermen Racing Team. Hunter Corney, 2:12 was the best time for the young Australian on the Moto Go Yamaha. Tepi Kugawa for Sanwa Racing Team was 20th, 21st, a FIFAM ran. And then moving to 23rd, Reza Danica Arens for Astra Honda, and then Aldias Axel for Yamaha for Yamalu. Gao Jiang, Team 1 for All, 25th. Raiku Hasegawa, wildcard for the Indian team, Servo Hypersport Racing by 1010. Jazul Jarami for Team ACR, 27th. 28th, Shenchen Zhang for Pro Power Antares. Setu Rajiv was 30th, with a 217.7, and there was a 221.3 for Lu Yin for Tianyu Asia Racing, and no time recorded for Hinata Okada. So once again, we're going to treat you to some super slow-mo shots while we have a short break before the final session of the day for the Super Sports 600. So we are at the spectacular Mobility Resort Motegi for round 3 of the FIM Asia Road Racing Championship.
Idemitsu engine oils are precisely formulated for meticulously engineered Japanese car engines. We are committed to delivering optimal performance. We fulfill this commitment through 5 ultra-protective benefits known as Quintec Guard. They unleash the peak performance of treasured cars. Drive anywhere with confidence. Feel the excitement in your heart. The highest quality engine oils in the history of Idemitsu.
Welcome back everyone to a brightening mobility resort Motegi. This is the third and final session of the day for Supersport 600. And if you've been with us this afternoon, you will have seen we had some fairly torrential rain earlier during, it actually started during their second session. So they've had one dry session so far. But conditions now looking dry pretty much all the way around the circuit, with just a few damp patches off the racing line. So for sure everybody is going to be out on slicks. That's a good shot of the kind of patchiness of the drying track. That's the second of two tunnels that the riders go through on one 4.8 kilometre lap around this Motegi circuit. 14 turns, 8 right, 6 left, and plenty of elevation change as well. So this is a really challenging track. And here's one of the most challenging parts of it, the run down from turn 11 to turn 12. 31 there. Second in the championship currently is Tanat Longpliao, who didn't have a good weekend here at Motegi in 2025, so we'll be hoping for better things this time around. Not so much, we haven't seen it yet during free practice. He was 10th in the dry conditions this morning, but I do get the sense that Tanat is a rider coming into some better form now. So there is the 31. He's got, I think, one of the Malaysian Hondas ahead of him. Going down the bottom of your screen there is Kitsadar Tanachot. Yeah, it's Helmi Asman for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia. Lovely shot there at the top of the circuit. Kitsadar Hikari Okubo, the number 78. Number 98 is Caroline Mpawi. Switched his number from 89 to 98 for this season. And Tanat on the back of those three. Great shot there as they crest the hill just after turn 11. Okay, so that's Akubo, Kitsadar and Caroline Mpawi. Tanat just dropping off the back of those three. Hikari Okubo, the quickest around so far, 1:56.806, but we are not quite 5 minutes into this 25-minute session. You'll probably know that we didn't start until 11 o'clock this morning because all the kit got held up in last week's typhoon and only arrived yesterday. So there's all stations in full action yesterday, and we're on track here. What we haven't seen, if you're wondering where the TVS Championship is, well, we just moved them on the schedule to tomorrow. They'll have their practice in the morning and they're qualifying after racing tomorrow afternoon, and they'll have their race 1 on Sunday morning. So good bit of creative work on the schedule by the organisers. There is the rider leading the charge at the moment, Hikari Okubo, the Sanwa Racing Team. One of several good quality wildcards here. Also a good replacement rider. We'll talk about when he shows up, assuming that he does in this session. In fact, he has shown up, but not on screen. Tanat improving on this lap, currently 4th. So the Thai rider perhaps showing better form. Now we're getting into the 3rd session of the day in decent track conditions. Yeah, Tanat moves up to 2nd. Almost half a second back from Kubo. Khalid and Powie up into 3rd. Those two just bumped Apiwat and Tananon, replacement rider for Nitro Ryota Racing. Anupab on the back of that group there, the number 500. As our colleague Des Corkill always says, he sees those 2 zeros on the 500 as a big pair of eyes burning into the back of whoever happens to be in front of him. Well, at this point it's Isam Iqmal. Anupab took a win last year in race 1, so we know he goes well around here. He's 4th in the championship, but only 12 points off the leader being Kazma Daniel. Kazma currently on a 157.417, but he was blisteringly quick in the first couple of laps in the first session this morning. And looking on really good form. Tanat just put in the best Sector 1 and Sector 2. Khalid and Powie improving as well. He's put in the best Sector 3. So this is turning into an intriguing session. Last time out for Supersport. Good shot there of Tanat. He comes through, and does he push himself up to number 1? Yes, he does. Khalid and Powie just behind him. Yeah.
Great work with Tanat there.
Yeah. Just a few hundredths of a second separating Tanat and Kip.
Oh, here's someone who's gone off. That's Carl, isn't it? Yeah, Carl's gone off there.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a... looks like an oil flag. Sorry, that's not Carl. That's Ferozi that's gone off.
Yeah, that's number 36.
Yeah, but there's an oil flag being waved, or a slippery flag, so to speak.
Yeah.
By the marshal. That's there's just a bit damp still in that section, or there is a bit of a spillage.
No wonder. There for the first time on your screen in this session is Kazma Daniel.
Yeah, he's going quicker. He's going quicker and quicker. Sector 1, Sector 2 is good. Sector 3 is the fastest, but he's getting held up a little bit there. Won't that affect his lap time much? It was a bit wide there. Kasma. Throughout sectors 1, 2, and 3, he's provisionally predicted to be first. Let's see what happens when he comes across the line. Yeah, I think he got disturbed a bit on that last sector, and that's where he lost a lot of time. Apiwat goes up into 4th.
Yeah, solid session from Apiwat. He was 2nd. '27 is Kazma. And a group of 3 riders just coming in, both Thai Hondas. So, leaving a nice clear space for Hong Leong's Kazma Daniel Kazmayuddin.
Yeah, Kazma looks like he's just taking this lap just to cool down real quick, and I think he will push on for another one. It was really close earlier. It was just unfortunately disturbed on that final sector. With the changing conditions, he might see a bunch of others coming in. We saw Tanat, Kip and Hikari Kobo coming in very quickly after they set some of their fast laps. Kazuma, by the looks of it, body language wise, might be doing the same. Might just be a quick tweak. The conditions are a bit different, well, very different from practice 1. Temperature wise as well, we're actually quite similar, but with a lot more sun this time around.
Yeah, you'd have the cool of the morning this morning, and then the cooling effect of the rain this afternoon. So yeah, evening out as Kazma comes in to make a stop, but it is Tanat Longpliao having a very good run here.
This morning the lap times were, well, the quickest was in the 150.084 that was done by Kazma Daniel. Well, it wasn't really morning, it was about midday.
Yeah, we're used to starting at 8:30, 8 or 8:30 in the morning. We started at 11 today, so we're a little bit disoriented, I think.
Yeah, my mind was programmed thinking that, okay, it was about 9 or 10 a.m., but it's actually closer to noon. So that was a 54.0. It's done by Kazma, 54.5 by Hikari Okubo, Anupap, 54.6. So we were well within the 54 timing. This time around it's only been Tanat and Kip, so again, different conditions, different temperatures slightly.
Yeah, so those lap times look good given all of that.
Yeah. So see some damp patches here and there, but on the racing line it's mostly dry. I think maybe it's just feeling a bit. Maybe whatever the conditions are right now on track itself, it's giving the riders a bit of a lack of confidence, and that's why we're not really seeing as many drop into the 54s.
Yeah, Helmy still not putting it together. That's the Yamaha Thailand garage there. You can see with the kind of diagonal checkered pattern on the t-shirts and the bike.
Yeah, that's Dimas there. Looks like he's about to head out again. Decent session from Dimaseki Pratama. 56.2. In comparison, in practice 1, in, well, theoretically better conditions, he was doing 58. So Dimas getting very quickly acquainted with Motegi.
Yeah, it's good to see. We know his quality.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that combination, that Dimas and MS Kloferman combination, reach its potential yet, it's fair to say. But getting better.
Here's Helmy Asma now. Really due for a properly strong weekend, as in all throughout practice, qualifying and the race.
Yeah, just eased himself into 6th ahead of Kazma.
Interesting interesting first lap from Hikari Okubo for his second stint. Went slow in sectors 1, 2, and 3, and in sector 4 sets the fastest sector 4. So look out for Hikari Okubo. It looks like he's made a tweak to his bike and he's enjoying himself. Ooh, Helmy Osman, look at that for sector 1. Quickest sector 1 from Helmy, but Hikari Okubo goes quicker. Helmy messes it up there.
Yeah, and that very tricky place under braking. You have to be wide before you come into turn 13 there, because it is wet in that tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I was observing as well. Because you have no sunshine there, obviously, and that part of the track is still quite damp.
Yeah, and you come into it after braking downhill into the dark. That's, you know, quite intimidating.
Yeah.
But you're right, Daniel. Hikari Okubo
improving. See him right there, right behind Helmy. So as long as Helmy doesn't get in his way, Helmy doesn't realize that Hikari is clawing him in. Yeah, he does take
he
a look
does,
behind.
yeah.
So good on Helmi for spotting that. He's pushing on now, so this might help Okubo a bit. Oh, look at that quick sector 3 as well from Hikari Okubo. Oh, but Helmi's going to get in his way. Yeah, that's not what Hikari Okubo would have wanted.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think Helmi should have just slowed down out of the way before turn 12 already, rather than push on.
Yeah, Helmi's come off into the pits. But, yeah.
But still, even with the disturbance in Sector 4, look at that. Sector 4, he's lost so much time, but he's still done a 54.4. So, thinking, meddling around with the numbers, could have easily been a 54 too. Kasma looks like, due to passing at turn 9, has just had his lap time deleted a bit late on. So from 55, his 57 now becomes his best lap, so he's done in 11th. Hikari Okubo, another strong Sector 1.
Yeah. Definitely making himself the star of the show here.
Very incognito livery as well for the Sunward Racing team, just that iconic for them, the black and white design.
Yeah, I do like the Japanese team designs, the Kino Speed as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. Amazing looking bikes. Let's see what Okubo does on the second sector. Oh, it's good. It's another good lap coming in from Okubo. We saw how strong he was in Sector 3 and how potentially strong he was in Sector 4 up until turn 12. So let's see. 2 more sectors to go. I think it's going to be a low 54 from Hikari Okubo. Downhill now into turn 12. Hikari Okubo is going to clock in Sector 3 now. It's very close.
Oh.
He needs a very strong Sector 4 now. It's just 0.096 off. So if he finds a 10th or 2 in Sector 4, this will be a great way to end Practice 3 for the Sunward Racing team. Oh, aggressive on the exit there. Turn 14. So he comes across the line now. Yeah, it's going to be a low 54. It's a 54.151 from Hikari Okubo.
Look at that.
Brilliant from Hikari Okubo.
That final sector, absolutely brilliant. Oh.
That is Happy what has gone down, I think. Oh, sorry, that's Keisuke Tanaka. The other Nitro Ryota racing bike. Beautiful bike as well.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Unfortunately, in the gravel this time for Keisuke.
Kitsuda's just moved himself up. Urgent trying to improve. There are the 2 Thai Hondas running together. Kitsuda 18, Tanat 31. Tanat's been quiet since putting in that 54.8. Rider getting out of the way there. I couldn't see who that was actually.
I think that was Happy one. It looked like a Nitro bike.
Yeah.
Hikari Okubo, after setting that lap, looks like he's on a cooldown lap. So we'll focus on the 2 Thai Hondas, Tanat and Quesada. Can either one of them have a response?
Yeah, they do often run together. Let's see, Quesada leading the way. Tanat making a few shapes on the exit there.
Tanat just checking to see if anyone's trying to latch on behind them. So as of right now, they are running as a duo. It's sort of what they would want in this this time. Of course, a tricky part for the Supersport 600s. This is only their second dry session this weekend so far, so they'll have to hope to find what they need to find in this session itself. And it is, so to speak, less than ideal conditions at the start of it.
Yeah, Anupab's had a good Sector 1. 29.6 through there. good sector 2. So last year's race 1 winner. Looking good.
Yeah, Kip's found himself behind the 2. Tyronas Tanat. Oh my, this section for Tanat has been a struggle since earlier today. I mean, his lap times are good, but he's always looked quite on the limit there. Arjun and Anupap are really pushing on this lap.
Yeah.
Anupap slightly quicker through sector 2, but both of them lapping fast through sector 3. It's not going to be enough for P1 for Anupap, but it looks like provisionally P2. That's the prediction. Comes across the line now. Anupap does go P2. 54.6.
Okay, so half a second back from Kubo. Groho, who was languishing a little bit, he's moved up to 9th. Tanat on a slow one, Kazma on a fast one. 29.3 through sector 1. So he put in a very early quick time this morning. Is he going to put in a quick late one this afternoon? He's got Hergen behind him right now on the Astra Honda.
Oh yeah, Kazma's good. He's good on this lap. Quick as sector 1, quick on sector 2. As of right now, he's quicker than Hikaru Okubo through the first 2 sectors. Okubo has come out again as well, so maybe a last-minute push from Okubo or just a practice start.
Yeah, I was intrigued to hear Kazma say in your interview with him, Daniel, that he didn't really feel right on the bike when he did that really quick time. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So if he does get it totally sorted, then it's looking good.
Yeah, he's lost time in sector 3 there. Kazma looked behind, saw Hergen right behind him. Both of them nodded at each other. Kazma now run the final sector. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. As he somehow makes around 2/10 in sector 4. Comes across the line now. It's a 54.4. So Kazma goes second. Hergen goes third. Anupap! 53.8.
So here we are. Into the 153s, 1 minute from the checkered flag. So another brilliant lap there from Anupap, coming good late in this session. Kubo pushed down into 2nd. Kazma up into 3rd.
So will there be a final push for Hikaru Kubo? He should make it across the line in time for another lap. Anupap there. Passing Hergen. Hergen's backing off, so Hergen and Kazma are done for practice 3. Anupap is far from done by the looks of things. Hikaru Kubo comes across. He does make in time for another lap.
Yeah, let's see what Anupap can do this time around. It was a very decent sector 1. 241 on the Nitro Ryota Yamaha is Apiwat, who has won here during his championship year 2024.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the Nitro Racing truck, I highly recommend if you ever pass by a track in Japan and see a track day happening or a race happening, do look for it, because it is a really nice, nicely designed truck as well.
Yeah, and even from a distance, those graphics could only be Japanese, couldn't they?
Yeah, indeed.
It's just, yeah, so distinctive, so aggressive.
It's another fast lap coming in from Hikaru Okubo.
Yeah, kept getting a move on as well.
So Apiwat, he moves up into 9th, but Hikaru Okubo, he's going quick. Hikaru Okubo could drop into the 53s on this lap. It's a very good sector 1. Just slightly slower than his best sector 1. He's improved through sector 2. We'll be looking for sector 3. Kip as well, improving through sector 2.
So Kubo having a look at, yeah, he's faster than Anupab. Oh no, that was Anupab's last lap, so yeah, forget that. So Anupab looks like he made it. The only rider into the 153s.
Kip might just edge Tanat. Hikaru Okubo fast as sector 4. Hikaru Okubo sector 4, 153.952 in the end.
So 2 riders into the 153s. Before I could even finish the sentence about Anupab, 153.882 for the Yamaha Thailand racing team rider. And just a tenth or so behind him, Hikaru Okubo for Sanwa Racing Team, 153.952. Kazma Daniel, fastest in the drive this morning. 3rd quickest this time, 154.4. Herjan Atno, 154.6. Good session for him. Karalidan Pawi, 154.699. Tanak Longpliao for Honda Racing Thailand, 154.846. Improving on this morning. Helmi Asman for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, 155.78. And then Kitsadar Tanachot for Honda Racing Thailand, 155.8 for the young Thai. And for Yamaha Racing Indonesia in P9 was Wayunugroho for Yamaha Racing Indonesia. And then it was Apiwat Wongtananon coming as a replacement rider on the Nitro Ryota Yamaha. Dimaseki Pratama for MS Glow for men, 156.284 for the Indonesian. McKinley Carl Paz had a crash in that session but recorded a best time of 156.7. Wildcard Kisuki Tanaka on Nitro Ryota, 13th. Iza Mikmal, 14th, 158.4 for the Malaysian. Ferozi Torokatula, another crasher in this session, was 15th quickest with the time that he recorded, 158.886. That is the Supersport done for the day. 3 sessions for them. We have one more coming. I do apologise to Jian Hao, Victor Racing Team. He was 16th quickest in that session. But perhaps the most fun session of the day was the, actually both ASB 1000s were phenomenally entertaining. But that was a really good session for this category. And we will be back for the final session of the day for the ASB 1000s, 5:10 local time. That's 6 minutes from now, so stay with us.
Idemitsu IFG7. Flagship engine oil nano-tailored for high-precision engines. Enhanced performance in 7 ways with super protective septic guard technology, the accumulated wisdom of oil experts. Anti-power loss nanotech keeps your engine performing at its peak for extended periods in harsh conditions. Beat the heat. Idemitsu IFG7.
We are on track at Motegi for the final time of the day. And this is the ASB 1000, third time on track. They had one dry session this morning, one, or rather early afternoon, and one wet session a couple of hours later. And we are going in the dry for this final one of the day. Quickest in the dry this morning, and therefore the quickest time overall so far. 1:49.752 was Hafiz Sharin, who progressively worked his way up to the top in the 35-minute session this morning. We started at 11, we trimmed the duration of each session by 5 minutes, so they're running for 35 minutes instead of 40. What a beautiful shot that is of the racetrack with the mountains in the background. And Swift Grow BMW there of Lachlan Epis. He went really well in the second session in the wet. I was interested to hear that he's running a thumb rear brake for the first time. Do you know what the reason why he's running a thumb brake?
Well, he mentioned that he feels it would help him with the hard braking in Motegi. Other reasons could be just that it is a bit easier on the right-hand turns, especially when you have a thumb brake, rather than having to quickly adjust your foot while holding the rear going into a right turn. So it is something that a lot of riders are trying out, and I think Lachlan's just trying to find that little extra edge that he can find. Keto played aggressive on the inside of Lachlan, then on the straight into turn one. Keto goes quickest. So, of course, on the opening lap, it's not going to be anything spectacular yet.
No, but I'm going to say right at the outset that I think Keto Abe is going to be really strong in this session. He wasn't earlier, not in the dry nor the wet. So now this is where he needs to put something in. He got a P1 and a P2 last year.
Yeah, he mentioned to me that suffering with a bit of issues on the bike. Didn't understand what was going on. So practice 2, he wanted dry so he could see whether they could rectify those issues. So now that it is dry, you can expect him to give 110% as always.
Yeah, and looking at his body language on the bike, he's already doing that.
Yeah, he's going rapid. Through sector 1 is quick from Keto Abe. He's got 2 fast riders in front of him as well. That is Nakarin and Shotaite.
Yeah, Nakarin sensational in the wet second session.
Brilliant.
Just another level from everyone else. So it really was quite a thing to watch. Keto Abe grabs our attention on the SDG Honda. Further back, leading the group on track behind, is Lachlan Epis. He had a good second session as well in those wet and drying conditions.
Yeah, Keto Abe there just trying to carry a lot of corner speed, but he's got caught up there. Shotaite taking a slightly different line. Let's see what Keto does across the line. There's a 151.4.
Yeah.
We're still off the quite a bit off the fastest lap times that we saw in practice 1.
Yeah, we got to within half a second of the qualifying record with Hafiz this morning. So yeah, that was a really quick session in slightly better conditions, it's probably fair to say, than what they're in now. Well, let's just remind ourselves that the yellow number 74 there is a Yamaha. It's been going phenomenally well in the wet and the dry.
Yeah, you can see them there, just as they come around the first sector, through the first tunnel. They're going a bit more careful on the exits. Probably still a bit damp inside there, so they can't really exit as wide as they want. See Shotaite pulling up the bike much earlier than usual. Nakarin is on it in sector 1. Sector 2, Keto Abe is going well.
Yeah, lots of red appearing on the screen at this stage, as you might expect. As we're only 7 minutes into this session. You're just flying down that hill.
Yeah, oh, look at Kitabi squeezing Shota Ite out of the way. There's a bit of friendly fire between the two Japanese riders.
It was, but cleanly done. So Shota won't have a problem with that.
As clean as a block pass could be done then to turn 12. Tricky one, but Kito made it stick. Kito goes up with a 51.0.
Yeah, back to the top. Advantage of about a 10th. Kota goes up. We've had some phenomenal entertainment from the wildcard so far. Ooh, Kito just backing it in there.
Yeah, he loves to leave that tail sideways going into the turns. He's brilliant, Kito Abe. There's the number 12, Shogo Kawasaki. Oh, nice. In the way of Nakarin on this occasion. Yeah, you can see here through the first tunnel, they're having to just pick up a little bit earlier. As you mentioned, it's less than ideal. Kito's going to try and swing on the inside of Shogo. He does make it stick. That's cleanly and aggressive from Kito.
Nakarin again through sector 1, quickest. Respectable, though not stunning sector 2.
Oh, Kito is 4/10 quicker than Nakarin in sector 2 at this time. Kota just slightly under a 10th off Kito. Looks like Kito and Kota, they're on course to lap into the mid 150s.
Sakwan looking good, although hasn't really threatened the top all but briefly. The drive this morning he was 5th quickest, 150.7, which was a second down on Hafiz's best time. Oh. The positions at the top changing.
Yeah, Kito 50.590, Kota 50.6, Shota Ite 50.8, Nakarin 50.8. So this is looking much better. Kito Abe, that's his personal best so far after 3 practice sessions. So in a session where it seems everyone else is struggling a little to match what they did in practice 1 so far, after about 15 minutes, Kito is flying.
Yep, Hafiz and Andy Farid. Andy missed the second session. Seemed to be some kind of trouble starting the bike.
Yeah, twice. He made it just as he exited the pit lane and he restarted the bike. It quickly died shortly after, so poor old Andy missing out some valuable wet track time.
Oh, Shota's on a good one again.
Oh. Yeah, that's slightly quicker than Kito Abe's sector 2, matching Kito Abe's sector 1. So Shota Ite on the Yamaha on course for another very low 1 minute 50.
And on this really fast stop-go circuit, we didn't expect to see Yamaha this far up the order.
Yeah, it just looks like that bike gets hooked up so well, and he's just able to put the grip down on the rear tire. You can see that even through the tunnel. It's the only bike that's bringing the rear wheel, the front wheel up. It's just getting so much grip on the exits. Because we know that it loses the drive compared to the other bikes about midway through. And there he goes, Shota Ite, 50.441. And all 3 of them going wide. A bit of target fixation between Kito and Shota watching Nakarin. So we'll have to scrap this lap for Kito and Shota. Oh, Shota again going wide there.
Yeah. Further down, Hafiz for JDT, just clambering slowly back up. Yeah, he's going to improve this time around. Assuming he remains error-free. There he is. The 2025 champion and 2026 championship leader.
Yeah, Hafiz is on a decent lap this time round. He's improved through sectors 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be close to the mid 150s, but I think it's going to be around 150, a higher 150 for Hafiz this time round. We know Hafiz likes his long runs, and across 10 laps, he can still do a quick lap on lap number 10. Hafiz goes third, 50.6.
Yeah, those times at the top really close together. Andy Frid comes in. Still not much from Andy Frid Izdihar on the JDT, the second of the JDT Ducatis, 153.3. Joe Francis there running wide as Hafiz stomps through.
In this lap, he's a bit disturbed through sector 1, so he'll have to push on for the next lap. But he does look like he's on a mission. Rocco there into the 51s, 51.8 for Rocco Sessler. So that's matching what he did in practice 1.
Yeah, you can just see it with Hafiz. We've got more than half the session remaining, and he's right up there within touching distance of the top. And looking as cool as a cucumber, actually. As you said, he does do these long runs, and, you know, big props to him for that.
He's got his fitness up, and as many will agree, this is probably the fittest anyone has ever seen Hafiz Sharin. So these long runs for him, it seems like it's not a struggle at all, and he's able to find what he needs. And sometimes it's just that you can do as much as you want on the bike, but ultimately the mileage that you clock, that's what makes a difference. And he's done that. He's put in the work. He's understood the bike better than anyone else could on a V4.
Yeah, well, with that much talent and hard work ethic, then that's quite a package to beat. Plus the all-conquering Ducati.
It's a shame that his teammate Andy has had a few issues so far this season with the bike. It's been a hit and miss for Andy Farid. Although I'm sure Andy would have found himself a bit more home on the brand new 7G. So we'll wait and see when they finally bring that bike in. That double swing arm, it's probably a bit more easier to adapt for Andy. Oh, we're talking about that Rocco and the BMW. It's done a 51.2. Great work from Rocco.
Yeah, improved in every sector. Yeah, some real maturity. He's not 18 yet, is he?
Yeah, he's not even 18 yet, no. 17 years old and the Premier class in Asia, that's something.
Yeah. 2 years ago in TVS, last year in 600s. And he really looks at home on a superbike.
He does.
Which is great.
Hafiz in this lap. It's strong, consistent laps from Hafiz in this session. Continuing his form into the mid 150s. There, another 150.6. So this could be maybe just a bit of race pace search for Hafiz. Again, because practice 2, they didn't do many laps in the wet either. So data-wise,
yeah, it was only half a session, so they have really no proper wet data.
The majority of the grid are back in pit lane. The Nantaprocha has just come out now. Kota Arakawa, Shota Ite, Kito Abe, Nakarin, Zakwan all in pit lane.
Yeah, we're exactly on the halfway point of this 35-minute session, on 17.5 minutes.
Ollie Simpson found some good improvement in the session, despite it only being his second dry session in Motegi. He's improved by just about half a second. So similar to what we saw in Buriram. Came to a new track and he just had to make his work step by step. But then he did find the pace in Buriram. I think in the end he was only about a second and a bit off the pace at a track where the Yamaha theoretically should struggle.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody expected to see a Yamaha anywhere near the top. And there he is at the top, halfway through the third practice session. Exactly 1 second off the best ever qualifying time.
Simpson on the Yamaha. Maybe looking to try and make that step up like he did in Buriram. Shota Ite will be the reference. Hafiz, there we go. 50.395. Consistency, consistency, consistency.
Yeah, the bike looks like it's working quite hard, but Hafiz doesn't.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of work being done to Kito Abe's bike there. They're toying around with the suspension and the electronics. Try and find a little bit extra for Kito.
Yeah, Rocco on another good lap.
Indeed, 51.2 so far, his fastest. Let's see if Rocco can dip into the sub 151s. Shota Ite going around to...
Oh, yes he does.
Oh, 51.0, so just above the benchmark. Sub 51, so great work for Rocco. And now he sits just 0.6 away from the top. Hafiz is backed off from his current lap, so he might come in and try something new. Shota Ite running a medium combo.
Yeah, unusual. The medium front is favoured by nearly everybody except Nakarin and Kito from memory.
The hard front.
The hard front is favoured, yeah, by everybody except them, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it might be, I think, something to do with how the Yamaha is putting the power down. Perhaps that extra front end feel is what Shota's looking for.
Maybe. This is another good lap from Rocco. He's in a nice groove, the young German there.
Oh yeah, he is. He's done 10 laps in a row. So he's sort of taking a page out of Hafiz's book now. He's done the most laps out of anyone in this session. And I think that is the right approach. When you're well, not to say new to the track, but on a different bike, it's completely different.
Look at this naughty boy, Shota Ite. Fastest Sector 2. Decent Sector 1.
There he comes now down the hill. So maybe that medium front is working for him. Ooh, Sector 3 is just under 2/10 off. But we saw how strong his Sector 4 was previously. Look at that. Look at the amount of power he's able to put down on the rear wheel. The only bike that's picking up like that through the tunnel. Here comes Shota Ite. The front wheel's going to pick up once again here as he exits.
Yeah, it's just skimming the tarmac there.
50.7, so it's not quicker. But it's another good lap from Shota Ite.
Yeah, exactly. The pace is brilliant.
Yeah. He's gone wide there.
He almost looked away, forgot where he was.
Yeah.
That would have been an unpleasant surprise. Andy Farid finally getting some pace, I think. It's a long way off, but he's had very little track time.
Indeed, yeah. It's been a struggle for Andy Farid. It's a bit resemblant of Hafiz in his first year. Just you know, on some days you see him suddenly fighting for the podium, and Shota Ite, another moment. What's going on with Shota Ite there?
He looks down to the right. But I think it's a bit like when you trip over on the pavement and you look down and glare accusingly at the paving slab.
I was about to say the same thing. It's a typical rider error, but then you just act like the bike did that.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's 2 errors for Shota Ite on this lap, so I think he's going to have to cool himself down for a bit and restart his attack.
Andy improving once again.
Yeah, as I was saying, it looks like how Hafiz had it in his first season. Just couldn't understand the bike yet. It's just not doing what he wants. But then, because the quality is there in the race, there's always a strong performance.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Rocco didn't improve on the last lap, but he was only 0.03 of a second off his previous lap time, so really good pace.
Really good work from Rocco Sessler. He's found the rhythm for sure. Andy Farr at that time, 52.051. Oh, look at how Shota Ite is exiting. That rear wheel is just asking to go away, but he's just keeping it nice and controlled. He is on a mission.
Kito Abe just put in the fastest sector 2.
Yeah, looks like all that toying about with the suspension and electronics, it's working so far for Kito. Shota on attack mode, and sector 1 he's improving. Look at that, the power that's able to put down, it's amazing. Kito is going quicker in sector 3, so Kito right now is predicted to go above Hafiz. That's Kito as he comes around the final sector in the final 2 turns. Still running that hard front and medium rear. Kito Abe comes across the line. It's going to be a 50.367 for Kito Abe, so
yes.
he just goes on top.
Oh, but look what happened. Nakarina Tirapuvapat bettered him by 0.2 of a second. And 150.1 for the Honda Thai rider. Whew. Well, wow. That slightly caught us off guard here in commentary.
Yeah, we didn't see it coming. From sector 1 and sector 4, it didn't look like anything was happening, and he's going even quicker now.
Yeah.
Nakarin, he's doing what he did in the wet.
Oh! Just a bit too much. So, broken his rhythm.
Well, the good news is he knows now where the limit for his brakes are.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, wow. So Nakarin, after a bit of a struggle early on in practice 1, and then finding rhythm, and then in the wet, a brilliant performance. Now in the dry again in practice 3, he's found some really good pace.
And the limit.
And the limit, indeed. Shota Ite, he made an error in sector 2, but still managed another 50.7. So Shota Ite is another one with really strong pace.
Yeah, it stands out, him and Hafiz in particular.
Indeed, yeah. Kota Arakawa has been there, but we haven't seen much of him in terms of the lower 50s in this session. We got 3 Hondas now. We got the SDG Honda of Kito, Nakarin on the Thai Honda, as well as Kota Arakawa on the Astemo Honda. Interesting to see these 3 running together. They're all doing a thing from each other. Look at Nakarin just sticking onto the rear of Kito. He's doing the same thing he did on the last lap. Kito tried to avoid this, but he just couldn't. Shota Ite on a really hot lap.
Yeah. 28.3, almost as quick as Nakarin's best, sector 1. And the fastest sector 2.
Oh, this could be into the 49s. He's quick as well through sector 3. This could be a 49 coming in from Shota Ite, or at least a very low 1 minute 50. He's got Andy Farid right behind him, who's not improving on this lap. Well, he did improve to sector 2, but let's focus on Shota Ite. Front wheel picking up through the gears. Comes across the line. Is it a it's a 150.166 for Shota Ite. Yeah, Kito Abe is going quicker.
He's just chipping away. These three, Shota, Nakarin, and Kito Abe.
We have to remind
2
everyone,
tenths separating them, yeah.
he's on a Yamaha. We haven't seen the Yamaha anywhere near this level for quite a number of seasons now. This is so good to see.
But in other top categories of superbike racing, you don't see the Yamahas this far up.
Yeah, exactly.
So they've unlocked something.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine other teams from other championships, if they're seeing this now, they might want to tap into what Akimo's doing, because this is brilliant.
Yeah,
Kito Abe, look at that. He is going really quick. Kito Abe on course for another very low 50, or perhaps a 49. Shota Ite as well. Through sector 1 was good, but sector 2 not so. Now these three coming across the line. Kito Abe 50.071.
Okay, knocking on the door of the 49s again.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Kito's happy with that, I think.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes remaining. So it's time for a little bit more drama.
Yeah, here's Adnan Putra, currently sitting in 9th with a 51.2.
Yeah, good session in the wet earlier this afternoon. Kazuki Watanabe on Team Tatara Aprilia improving.
Andy Farid now improves up into 9th to 51.15. This is better from Andy. Kazuki Watanabe, yeah, he's done a good job. 50.8. That is his fastest so far today. In practice 1, he did a 51.0, so Kazuki Watanabe finding the sub 51s, and he's improving. Sector 1 and Sector 3 are quicker for Kazuki. He's going to close the gap down to Kota Urakawa. Sako Zaidi goes up into 6th now with a 50.652.
So we've got 1 second covering the top 9.
Yeah, quite a close margin between the top 9. There's going to be about pace. I mean, if this is the pattern that we're expecting for the practice and qualifying tomorrow, I can imagine that in the race is all about who can stay the most consistent.
Yeah, well, weather permitting, there's a million yen, where am I, on the line, because Hafiz came within 4 tenths on race tyres of the qualifying lap record this morning.
Yeah, the temperatures are ideal. You got about low 20 degrees Celsius air temperature, so the bikes and the tires will be functioning at its absolute best. Lee Simpson now, he's going to get a nice reference with Shota Ite in front of him, both on the Yamaha R1Ms. Andy Farid has dropped into the 50s, 1 minute 50.656. That's his fastest dry lap time so far today.
Yeah, he's been just too short of track time.
Yeah.
But coming good, now he is getting it. Lachlan moves up to 141.147.
This is impressive from Ollie. He's not getting gapped by Shota Ite just yet.
Oh, well, and if he holds on, Shota Ite's just done the fastest sector 1. So if Ollie can get a toe, that's going to help his cause. Oof.
This is phenomenal from Shota Ite. Every lap, he just finds a little bit of extra here and there.
Yeah, Hafiz improving as well.
And this is going to be close for Shota Ite. Sector 3 and Sector 4 is where he really sings. So can he drop into that 1 minute 50.0. Can he put the Yamaha in P1 for now? Kito Abe, 50.035.
Well, there he is, getting closer and closer to the time set this morning in slightly more ideal conditions by Hafiz Shirin, and within 6/10 of a qualifying lap record on race tyres.
Yeah, Kota Arakawa as well found some improvement on the last lap, 50.310.
Nakarin improving late on.
Shota Ite on that lap, 50.284. Kota Arakawa previous at 50.310 between the top four. It's under 3/10.
Yeah, the top handful there, all quick through sector 1. Kito, Shota, Nakarin, Lachlan. It's quietly been improving lower down the order, but now coming through to 6th, 150.5. It's good from the Australian.
Yeah, great job from Lachlan on the BMW. Putting it within half a second to Kito Abe. Kito now right behind Nakarin. Maybe a better idea to get a bit of a slipstream from him down the front straight. Hafiz improving, Lachlan as well improving very well. So everyone in Sector 1's are pretty quick. They're very similarly timed through Sector 1. It's really in Sector 2 and 3 where the difference is made for them.
Yeah, there's only 2/10 between the Sector 1 time of Kito at the top and Ollie in P13. So Kito getting a tow, as you said, Daniel.
And he's improved again. 50.021. Look at the consistency from Kito Abe. Low 150s every lap.
Yeah, we talked about the pace of Hafiz, which has been impressive. But Kito just bettering that a little bit.
Yeah, Nakarin as well. Low 50.1 for Nakarin every lap for the past 3 or 4 laps. It's great work from them. Lachlan improving through Sector 1, decent Sector 2 and Sector 3. Shota Ite comes across the line with 52 this time. It's good Sector 4, but Sector 3 and 2 he lost time. Hafiz is on course to go back to the top, but he's lost time somewhere.
But again, it's pace in the mid 150s. Really good. Okay, out comes the checkered flag. These two Hondas. Nakarin in front, Kito Abe behind. Currently number 1 and number 3 on the timing screen. Hurtling down that hill. Sorry, Daniel.
Just below, not a long way below these riders. Ollie Simpson has done exactly what he did very well for the final practice session. Under a second and a half away from the top. 51.4 in his last lap. These two boys are not really improving in this lap. Sector 3 for Kito looks decent. 50.055 for Kito Abe on that lap. 50.100 for Nakarin on that lap. Both of them were so consistent at the end of that practice session. Brilliant.
Yep, and on his last lap, Rocco Sessler improving. Adananta improving. Yeah, another really gripping session. So we watch Hafiz come through turn 12 for the final time.
His final lap in practice 3. Didn't manage to improve, only in Sector 2 he found a bit of time. Hafiz goes up into 4th, 50.180. Between the top 5, it's under 3/10.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really close, and they've all got good pace as well. 150.021. Not quite into the 149s with Hafiz this morning, but great time in these conditions for Kito Abe. And second up, Nakarin and Tirapuvapat for Honda Racing Thailand. Thai rider looking a lot stronger, strongest probably we've seen him this season. Shota Ite doing sensational things on the Akino Speed Yamaha. Then Hafiz Shirin, fantastic pace all the way through this session. Kota Arakawa for Astimo Pro Honda S1 Racing was 5th. Then Lachlan Epis had a good, steady, improving session, 150.529. Zakwan Zaidi, Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, 150.6. Andy Farid is Dihar, getting used to riding the Ducati around here now after missing one session, 150.656 for the Indonesian JDT Ducati rider. And in P9, Kazuki Watanabe for Team Tartara Aprilia, 150.8. So we're still within 1 second of the fastest time. 10th, Rocco Sessler, 150.971. Adinantaputra, 151.139. And then Azroy Hakim Anwar for Idemitsu Honda Racing Malaysia, 12th. Ollie Simpson, good session again from the young Australian Motogo Yamaha Food Sport Racing, 151.4. 13th, Joe Francis next up for Victor Racing Team on the Yamaha R1. And Shogo Kawasaki on the second Aprilia was 15th, and Fahmi Abdul Wahab for 40 Forged Asia Racing Team. One of the best names actually. Rocco Sessler's teammate this weekend. 2 minutes, 0.3. So that takes us to the end of the day. We will be showing you some more slow-mo action, but the point here, just to remind you of tomorrow's schedule. We start at 8:30 with the first practice session for TVS Racing International Championship. We'll then go to the qualifying session for Underbone 150. We'll just be doing one qualifying session from them. And then it'll be AP 250, Supersport 600, ASB 1000, and the second practice session for TVS Racing. So we're making up time after losing a good few days to the typhoon, but we'll be back with you online and live streaming from 8:30 tomorrow morning. So join us then in the afternoon. We'll be joined by the strong and mighty Des Corkill for the afternoon's races. So join us tomorrow morning. Have a good night tonight. We will see you then for round 3 of the FIM Asia Road Racing Championship at Motegi.
Idemitsu IRG7. Race-bred nano-tailored oil for enhanced acceleration and horsepower. Even in harsh conditions, the 7 protective benefits of septic guard technology keep your engine performing at its peak. Even a split-second advantage can change everything. Born to win. Idemitsu IRG7.